The medieval world did not run on simple coins and clear prices. It ran on confusion, trust, power, and survival. Money was unstable, uneven, and deeply political. Yet from this chaos emerged the foundations of the modern financial system. This is medieval money, explained. When we think of the Middle Ages, we imagine castles, knights, kings, and peasants. But behind the swords and crowns was a far more powerful force shaping daily life: money. Unlike today, medieval money was not standardized, reliable, or universally accepted. It was fragmented, constantly changing, and often manipulated by those in power. In medieval Europe, there was no single currency. Every kingdom, city, and even local lord could issue their own coins. Gold, silver, and copper circulated side by side, each with different values. Coins were often clipped, shaved, or debased, meaning rulers reduced their precious metal content while keeping the same face value. This allowed kings to fund wars without raising taxes, but it destroyed trust. For ordinary people, money was a daily problem. A coin accepted in one town might be rejected in another. Prices changed constantly. Merchants had to weigh and test coins before accepting them. Money was not just payment, it was a risk. Most people rarely used coins at all. The medieval economy was largely rural and agricultural. Peasants lived under the feudal system, where land was owned by nobles and worked by farmers. Rent was often paid not in money, but in crops, labor, or livestock. A farmer might owe wheat to the lord, days of labor to the manor, and service during wartime. Money existed, but for many, it was secondary. Markets, however, told a different story. As towns grew, trade expanded. Merchants traveled between cities and across borders. They needed ways to deal with different currencies, unpredictable values, and long distances. This is where medieval money systems began to evolve. Money changers became essential. Found in marketplaces and near city gates, they exchanged foreign coins, assessed purity, and charged fees. Over time, these money changers became early bankers, accepting deposits, offering loans, and facilitating payments. Because carrying coins was dangerous, merchants preferred credit. Instead of paying immediately, buyers and sellers relied on promises. Written contracts recorded debts to be settled later. Trust and reputation became currencies of their own. If you were known as reliable, trade was easy. If not, you were excluded. This reliance on credit transformed medieval commerce. Italian cities like Florence, Venice, and Genoa led the way. They developed advanced financial tools to manage risk. Bills of exchange allowed merchants to transfer money across borders without moving coins. A trader could deposit money in Florence and withdraw it in Bruges. This reduced theft and simplified international trade. Interest, however, was controversial. The church condemned usury, charging interest on loans, calling it immoral. Yet trade could not function without credit. To bypass religious restrictions, bankers used creative methods: currency exchange fees, delayed payments, or profit-sharing arrangements. These loopholes kept finance alive. Over time, money systems became more sophisticated. Medieval rulers realized that controlling money meant controlling power. Coins carried the ruler's image, a symbol of authority. Debasing currency was a hidden tax. Minting coins was a political act. But this power had limits. When rulers abused money too much, inflation followed, prices rose. Trust collapsed. Trade slowed. History repeated this cycle again and again. Monetary stability became a rare and valuable asset. To restore confidence, some cities took bold steps. Public banks emerged. Governments regulated coinage, standardized weights, and monitored financial institutions. Stability became a competitive advantage. Cities with reliable money attracted merchants, investment, and growth. The medieval period also saw the rise of accounting. As trade expanded, merchants needed better record-keeping. Double-entry bookkeeping emerged, allowing businesses to track profits and losses accurately. This was not theory, it was survival. Without precise records, merchants failed. By the late Middle Ages, money was becoming abstract. Coins still existed, but most large transactions happened through ledgers, contracts, and credit. Money was no longer just metal, it was information. This shift laid the groundwork for modern banking. Medieval money systems were imperfect, unequal, and often exploitative, but they solved real problems. They enabled long-distance trade. They supported growing cities. They connected economies across Europe and beyond. Most importantly, they taught a crucial lesson. Money works only when people trust it. The medieval world experimented with money through trial and error. Some systems failed, others succeeded. Over centuries, best practices emerged. These practices became the foundation of modern finance. Today, when we complain about inflation, currency instability, or banking crises, we are echoing medieval concerns. The technology has changed. The challenges have not. Money is still political. Trust still matters. Stability is still fragile. Understanding medieval money helps us understand why modern financial systems exist and why they sometimes fail. The Middle Ages were not financially primitive. They were innovative, adaptive, and experimental. From feudal rents to merchant credit, from clipped coins to paper promises, medieval money systems shaped the world we live in today. So the next time you hold a coin, make a digital payment, or hear about inflation, remember this: money has always been more than currency. It is a reflection of power, trust, and human cooperation. And the medieval world, chaotic as it was, laid the financial foundations of the modern age. If you enjoyed this deep dive into medieval money systems, like, subscribe, and join us as we uncover the hidden history behind finance, power, and the global economy.